Let's call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Town clerk's report.
I have the approval of the Maytown clerk's report.
Make a motion to accept that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have the approval of the minutes, general bills number 20016 through 20149 and 20174, and highway bills number 20150 through 20173, and water bills 3206 through 3208.
I move we pay those bills.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Minutes, do we do the minutes?
No, not yet, sorry. And the approval of the minutes, I have May 15th workshop minutes and May 18th town board minutes.
I move we approve those minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're just gonna skip ahead here real quick, just to go into public comment. Willow Roots is here to do a presentation. You wanna step up and go ahead?
Hello, so my name is Nelson Zayas. I'm the co-founder and treasurer for Willow Roots. So I'm here to talk about the lots 8 and 12 on North Main Street. You're all aware of all the chatter that happened on social media back, when the buildings were taken down. I remember reading those comments, and one of the things that stuck with me was, them saying what an eyesore it was, that the land is not being used. I hear that it looks like there's plans to bring the town hall back there. So I had always heard that having empty lots in the middle of a town was not a good thing. I didn't know if that was true or not, so I did a little research. The first two things. And yeah, sure enough, what I'm finding out is vacant lands. They associate it with a sense of community well-being is often thwarted by the presence of vacant land. Goes on to say vacant land also creates an image, whether true or perceived, of increased crime in the neighborhood. Neglected vacant lands tend to decrease the value of homes in the neighborhood. They talk about mental health issues, increased depression. They talk about physical health, how many of these lots have high levels of lead and things like that. Now, these two articles or studies that I gave you, I think one was Philadelphia, one was Pittsburgh. Obviously, Pine Plains is not Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. We have different issues here. So then the next thought was, all right, so we want to do a flea market. Is a flea market a good thing to have? So I have 2 more papers on that. And both of these have the same message. They talk about how it benefits small business owners. It's a place for people to gather, families get together, vendors get together, the kids play together, socialization that happens, provides access to local goods, and it helps neighborhood businesses. And that's exactly what we're looking to do. Right now, Willow Roots runs, I think we're running 8 programs now, all aimed at helping out the community where we can. So the next paper you're going to get is an aerial view of the 2 lots. So I'll wait till you get it. You hold it like this so that the dots are at the upper left. You'll have the sidewalk at the bottom of the page. On the right side of the page is the bank parking lot. So what I did is I sectioned off. These are 10-foot by 10-foot squares that you see inlaid there. Right now I have 48 plots there. That doesn't even include the left side of the property or even the back of the property. I don't know that we would even be using all 48, but this is, just to kind of show you what I was thinking of in terms of where the vendors would be. So this would be, each vendor would get a 10 by 10 foot section. Like everything else that we do with Willow Roots, we're trying to help small businesses and people get up on their feet So we're looking to charge a nominal fee. You know, in some of these places for flea markets, you know, they can charge $50, $60, $100, you know, for a table, you know, so we're looking to just do $10 a table. Saturday and Sunday. Not exactly sure of the hours yet.
Split of the $10.
Yeah, the $10 would be split with the town 50-50. In terms of what we would need from the town is to just continue what you guys are doing in terms of mowing it, you know, that's pretty much it. I would imagine something like this. I don't know if that's under the umbrella for insurance. You know, to look into. So, you know, that's what we're proposing to do. Again, we have a lot of local vendors. We have a lot of artisans with unique gifts. And I thought that this would be a great way for them to showcase what they have, make some money without charging them an arm and a leg for a table. Bring more foot traffic to the center of town, which hopefully will then support the local restaurants. We're definitely not looking to compete with the restaurants in terms of like food carts and things like that. We already discussed that, you know, we will approve every vendor ahead of time to make sure that there are no conflicts like that. Any questions?
Is there anything being left between weekends?
Anything left?
I mean.
No, I envision that this is, you come, you set up, you take everything out. I don't see anything being left, you know. In the beginning, I will probably have to stake, you know, like every
Right.
10 foot,
Right,
so they can
right.
get a handle, and that those stakes on the edge here by the, you know, that little driveway. I might leave that. That's probably where we'll start the vendors first.
Mhm.
But I think once people get a hang of, you know, how that works,
Mm.
even that will go. But no, I don't envision any pop-up tents or anything like that being left behind.
We're also trying to make this a community. We're like, we want to make this flea market someplace where people can go. But we also want the vendors to feel like they have a community, so that they'll become a family, so that we know that, you know, if you want to get your homemade cookies by Maple, you know where to go get them. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go to that vendor. But it's supposed to be a safe place where we can let our kids run around. They know where the vendors are. You know, we're not saying we're not having food. We might have like pretzels or get, you know, something fun, but something for kids. Someplace where a family can go safely, buy a few things, support the community, have some foot traffic, and make this community alive. And also bring money to the people who are trying to sell their goods, which our virtual store did not do as good as I wanted. To my Willow Roots virtual store, we have great artisans, but people are just not going to the store because they want to see, they want to touch. And if we provide that, we're also looking to get people who maybe have stuff in their attic. You know, maybe they have some, you know, really great things, but they don't know, should I bring it to a consignment shop? Or can I sell it at the flea market? At $10 a table, you're not going to lose much, you know? And if we can make sure it's a staple that people know, hey, Pine Plains has got the best flea market, we're something. We're providing a great thing for people who are selling and people who are visiting. It just makes that community stronger, you know? I'm just excited about it. I grew up with flea markets in Brooklyn. I grew up with them in the Poconos, and we were there all the time. It was a great place to buy things and have fun. So we hope that you like the idea. Again, we want to do half and half. $5 for you, $5 for us. That goes directly to the pantry. It does not go to Nelson and Lisa. It will support our pantry. So I think that's another way that we can make the pantry grow also. We're not looking to take any money, but we will be doing a lot of the work. We will not be taking any of the money. So thank you so much for listening.
Will it be available to local people who grow produce locally?
If they want to
I
have a
think
little
it's
stand,
perfect.
That would be available.
absolutely.
We want
I
people
think
to
that
come
might be very
and
nice.
just bring themselves, you know, we have crocheters, we have knitters, we have
Woodworkers, yeah,
we have
it's
woodworkers.
incredible,
You know,
quilters and.
people want to get their stuff out, but there was no venue for it. They're traveling to other, why are we allowing them to come to so many flea markets when we have a place for us? Why are they going to like Kingston and up in Copiague? We need to keep it here. That's our people going everywhere. You know, we want people to come here, and then maybe the restaurants will even do better. You know, we don't have to compete with the restaurants. We don't have to have food trucks. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
Maybe on Sunday, because there's really nothing open on Sunday, but maybe, you know.
So you're looking for 2 days a week, like?
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
We'll
Yep.
start off slow. We'll see what our, you know, what we get back. From what I've put out the feelings, everyone can't wait for this. The vendors want it. But it's gonna be a soft open. It's probably not gonna kick off, word of mouth takes a while. Unfortunately, we're already in June, but we.
Yeah,
can
also,
go all
yeah,
the way
so the
until
other thing is,
October.
we're looking at like Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yeah, May, like October, depending how cold it is, you could still do it in October, but yeah, then we start getting cold. So if we save our money, we can build an indoor
Indoor.
flea market one day. That's what I really want eventually.
So no peddlers permits would be required or anything like that?
I don't see.
I don't see why not. I mean,
Stanford.
Stanfordville is having something, right, that they, what did they?
And
have to
people
do for
go
that?
there, like, we didn't realize how big that is. That Stanfordville, when they have it, everyone's there. It's packed. But we can have quality and we can have diversity of vendors. We could be the new thing that people want to come to Pine Plains because of our flea market.
Well, would the same seller be in the same place the Saturday and the Sunday?
I would like that.
And would they leave things there?
No.
No, everything is
No,
gonna
wait a
be, to take your stuff at the end of the day. I will keep track. I will be in charge of, I guess, booking the sites and stuff like that. If somebody wants to, if they like a spot and they want to reserve it for, 6 weeks or whatever it is, that's fine. But no, nothing, everything is, you come and you take it with
And
you.
they should be in the same spot, because if you want your cannolis or whatever you want, I want to find my vendor, we can even get used books. Ginger could bring her used books and make a, for kids, have a book section for kids. Like, there's a lot we can do. The only other thing I might suggest is that we might need a porta potty. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Like, do we need a porta potty for, people, if they have to go, for the vendors also, if they're going to be there from 9 or 10 till 3.
Yeah. And
That's
that would be
something
something
might-
that would be locked when the flea market is not open. But that's probably something that would have to stay there. We're not gonna be bringing.
Could that money that we bring in pay for the porta potty? Could we talk to Doug? and
We'll talk
see,
to Doug and see,
That's the only thing, because do we need one? Probably.
You need one.
Yeah, because
definitely need
vendors are
Okay.
gonna have to, they're gonna be there all day. So, and that's really.
Any
it.
other
Any other
questions?
questions?
You gave us plenty to go through.
Well, you didn't get, we were in here last time. We heard you needed some paperwork,
Yeah.
so that's what we
We'll get
gave
the
you.
last paper. I read the minutes and I'm not sure someone seemed to voice concern about parking. We don't foresee that being an issue at all. Anyone that's seen North Main Street on Parade of Lights or Memorial Day knows that plenty of parking
These are taken by
availability
the
on
drone,
North Main
don't see the
Street.
drone.
I checked out the bank parking lot on a Saturday at noon. It was totally empty. So that would be sort of in the middle of the flea market hours. The first picture you see here is on Church Street, looking from the church field, so just past I call it terrace, what's the
Pioneer.
Pioneer,
Yeah.
thank you. Towards the light. So this is a Saturday at 2 o'clock, no cars. Okay, again, this would be when the flea market would most likely be open. At the same day at 6:30, so now the restaurants are open. You can see how full the street is at 6:30. You can turn over the paper. And I suspected this, but I said, I love seeing those cars at Saturday night, all down the street. They go all the way down to the church field sometimes. But I suspected that people were not using the parking lot. So I went to check it out, and sure enough, the bank parking lot there at 6:30, the same day as the other photos. There were 6 cars parked on the lot. I counted 20 slots available, and I only counted that front section because I suspect the back section maybe is more for the apartments and things like that. So I only counted those first 2, when you come in that loop there. I don't know how many spots, the town would know how many cars that lot holds. But again, I don't foresee parking being a problem
Well,
whatsoever.
except you have 50 vendors, so you start off with they have to come with some kind of vehicle.
Mhm.
That's a lot of vehicle.
Again, there's plenty between the lot and the street. There's plenty to accommodate that.
I also know it's probably my comment about the parking that you saw, and I'm just going back to the days when you used to have your distribution there.
Mhm.
And that was a constant
Yeah.
sore spot here.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the cars going through. But also when they couldn't go through, it was a problem out on the.
I mean, it's a public street, I mean, like I said, you see the cars on Church Street with the restaurants. I personally, to me, I see that, I say, oh, the businesses are doing good. I see that as a positive thing. But I can see how people, I mean, they complain about that, as you mentioned,
I just have to remember, too many.
And this is, this is a little different in terms of they're not gonna be out there,
An
you know.
example, if we have 50 vendors,
Yeah.
I mean, my
Yeah.
hope is that we have. Oh, I would say 25 to 30 would be a nice amount.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes a community, like a family oriented. I like to have one person who's almost in charge. Like one vendor who could always, rile everybody up and make sure, that we don't have to do all the work. I like to start delegating it eventually. So that it becomes a community effort, I love delegating.
Any other questions?
Anybody have any other questions?
Not right now.
So I don't know what the procedure is, obviously we like to get started, as soon as you give us the green light, so I don't know what
Or to
the,
let the vendors know,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that they are already booked, so we need to give them maybe 2 weeks out. If you think that this is promising, we could at least give them a tentative date so that they can start getting their goods ready. you
Okay.
know? So if you want to do that, I appreciate that. And I know Greg Pulver wrote a letter to you, so.
We received it.
There you go. All right, I thank you for your time so
All right.
much. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other public comment while we're in public comment? Okay, we're gonna move into executive session for client attorney discussions. Can I get it?
that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Warren, you're up.
Okay, so we did discuss in executive session the issue of a moratorium law. And no decisions were made by the board. But the town does recognize that there are issues with regard to the current solar law that could be made better. The law, just for everybody's edification, follows the NYSERDA recommendation on 3-tier solar projects. It was fully vetted and created through a special committee over a period of 2 years. It was with the assistance of the town's planner. They drafted the law. I put it into legal sense, but they drafted the substance of the law. The law was reviewed by county planning and found to be fine, totally well done and acceptable. But we do recognize that there are potential for proliferation of solar facilities in the town that require some tweaks to the law. So we decided that we're going to have a special meeting on June 27th, at which time I will have prepared a moratorium law, which will on solar application, which will most likely have an exemption for pending applications that have gone through a certain course in the application process, but will apply to all future applications until we have a chance to take a closer look at the law and make some changes to it, so that if we do have additional applications that come in, we want to make the law the best that we possibly can. So I'll have that for the board on June 27th. The process would be, I present it to the board would pass a resolution scheduling it for a public hearing. There is no environmental review that's required in conjunction with a moratorium law, but there is a public hearing requirement, so we would have to schedule it for public hearing sometime later in July, or maybe early August. We'll decide that at that time. And there will also be what's known as a hardship provision in that local law, even though we're probably going to be exempting projects that have gone through a certain cost of application review. It will also have a hardship provision, so you could apply to the board for a waiver of the law. We had that when we first enacted a moratorium law, when we first started creating the law a couple of years ago. We had a moratorium, and so it'll be similar to what we had before. Any questions from the board? Okay, we'll see you on the 27th. What time we're going to do that?
7 p.m.
Okay, so you're going to have to just make sure that you notice a special meeting for that.
Yep. Remind me, you got that?
Yep.
You have to post it on the website and notify
In the
the
paper.
newspaper in writing.
Okay.
And each board member knows, of course, that we're having that meeting.
That all you had for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Department reports. Carl here.
No, he submitted,
All right, everybody received?
yes.
Okay.
There is the amendment of his agreement for the expenditures that has to everybody see. This is his report also, and also about the wood.
Yes, I know, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody received the building inspector's report?
Yes,
Water engineer.
it was busy.
Monthly report was submitted to the Department of Health. The average daily flow is dropped based on a water service leak that was dealt with, at the end of Beach Road. 3 water meter heads were replaced, 2 meters were rebuilt. 5 utility markouts were performed this past month. One of the 2 chlorinator pumps that are utilized at the pump house that developed a crack and had to be repaired. Unfortunately, that pump is no longer manufactured and I can't get parts for it. I was able to collect parts from various other facilities and other operators, but I've now exhausted all of those spare parts, so I actually have to break down and get a new unit, which is unfortunate because the pump itself is built like a tank and it's been there for well over 15 years without any issues. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to order a new spare, so that way I'll have it in stock in case of a future failure. The service leak repair. So it's a 2-inch galvanized line that is at the end of Beach and heads down towards what's known as the Bostwick Camp, or referred to as the old Bostwick Camp. Actually, is adjacent to the lake. We had actually done repairs on that 2.5-inch line last year when there was a major leak on that. Because we were not able to locate any service valves or isolate that area, and we were not sure if it actually branched off and dealt with other properties. After having raw water down, after searching high and low through that area, we were able to identify the general location of the leak, but we were not able to pinpoint that. In addition, luckily enough, we were able to find an old valve. Unfortunately, it was not operable, but we were able to replace that valve just about a week ago. And so we now have been able to isolate that 2.5-inch line. And in doing so, we actually were able to confirm that it only serves one property. Again, that Bostwick. So it's a service at that point. So even though we had done repairs in the past, it's actually a service line only to that one property. We isolated the valve. I've notified the property owner that it is a service line, that is their responsibility to now replace that line in its entirety. And it's going to be pretty expensive for them, unfortunately. But at least we've now solved the issue with the leak. It's heavy woods through that area, so we were not able to really pinpoint exactly where it was. I mean, there are trees that were 24 inches in diameter that went right over the service line. But ever since that was done, the water usage had dropped dramatically, back to what our normal usage would be expected to be. In addition to that, the second quarter billing meters will be read at the end of this month, and bills will be going out the 1st of July. All of the contracts for our electronic billing, online billing service, all the contracts have been signed, and we hope to get that online the first week of July. As far as that is concerned.
What if I'm just even getting envelopes that say like tank cleans, water improvement, something like that, instead of just the plain Jane envelopes that we always throw away? Do you know what I mean? Like it comes in a very you wouldn't know what it was. And so in normal, our water bill always gets thrown, you know what I mean? Cause it just looks like that plain Jane.
Note that.
Yeah, the sticks need
Need a logo.
more
It's a
distinct.
big old logo.
Birthday cards.
Yeah.
20% increase in his bill.
We could look at doing something different. So the envelopes that we get come directly from the post office. They're pre-printed.
Oh, okay.
And again, we do it because it's very economical.
Okay.
But I can check with the post office and see if they make options for additional printing, identifying that there's a bill enclosed, invoice enclosed, something of that nature. I'll see if there can be other language.
So I can't be the only person who does that.
I can just tell you with all the years that I've been here, I've never had a complaint or an issue.
My bad.
It's always one.
But I'll take a look, with them on that. That's it for the water. On the engineering side, the dugout bid, so working with Amanda and the supervisor, as well as county purchasing to finally iron out their requirements as far as the purchasing and notification. So that project is now out to bid. County is placing it on BidNet, which is a requirement because it is county funded as far as the project itself, as well as being placed in the town's paper. So that is in effect. Bidders can pick it up either by hard copy or it can be emailed to them electronically as well. where I'll be getting together with Amanda to go over, those requirements and making sure that she gets records of who's picking up and who she's sending it out to. The bids will be due July 14th. So that way, hopefully it'll be in time for the July board meeting to hopefully award them. So if anyone knows of any, again, the dugouts themselves is concrete masonry units. So if anyone happens to know of any local masons that are interested, please let them know that it's available for pickup. And I'm going to be sending out to various contractors that I'm aware of as well. That's it.
That's it. Recreation.
Only thing I've got is, Mark Wilson is once again requesting to use our beach facility for Sunday, June 25th. For the triathlon that they do every year. There are no conflicts with any recreation programs that we have going on. And he just sent me that insurance certificate today that I will forward to the clerk. So he's asking to use that. I don't have any issue with it at the rec. We've done it every year. I know there was concerns about traffic stuff. That's going to be addressed. I think the best thing is if the traffic issue occurs again next year, we just don't continue doing this. So, and make him aware of that.
And he's using the beach pavilion, not the Lions Club.
Not the
pavilion.
line. So the issue that was last year was he did not reserve the Lions Club pavilion, and it was reserved for a graduation party. And folks participating in the triathlon basically overwhelmed that parking lot. So the folks who actually were planning on using the Lions Club weren't able to the extent that they wanted to. And because of that, that was a big deal. So I've made it very clear. And like I said, if it happens again, we're not going to continue to do this. So he is only using our town area. He is not to have his participants block any access point to the Lions Club property or beyond. So, and we have a meeting on the 22nd to finalize those details, and I'll make it very clear he has to communicate to those participants, not to encroach upon the Lions Club property.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Everybody received the animal control report.
Yes.
Yep.
Police department.
Hey, we had 14 hours of court, 139 of patrol, 23.5 of admin, 5.5 investigation, 28 hours of school, 108.5 of training, 18 of details, and 31 vehicle other. 21 complaints, 1 auto accident, 14 B&T warnings, 17 UTTs issued. And we had 34 scheduled shifts, and we actually did 38. Sergeant Bellevue instructed at Zone 14 Police Academy for active shooter and radar lidar. Police officer Lovell completed a 3-day breath analysis operator for the data master. Myself, Sergeant Bellevue, officers Camburn and Lovell provided traffic control for Memorial Day. And then lastly, I would like the board's approval to promote Officer Camburn to the interdepartmental rank of corporal.
Come with a pay rate, I mean, just a title for mine.
Yeah, it's interdepartmental.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That it?
Do we have to go back? Do we have to need a motion on the triathlon using the town property?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's that?
Yes. We need a motion in regards to allowing the triathlon to use the beach area for their
I'll make that
Okay.
motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
I have a couple of things that I have to. You passed over me, I didn't catch it. The Woodward Hill project, did you get that email from George?
Yes,
And so,
told him to resend it out to bid.
great, okay. You want to talk about the police contract with Stanford in executive session? It's
Yeah, because we
contractual.
just got this stuff.
Okay, and I just wondered, we have to pass the resolution authorizing me to settle the Nature Walk tax surcharge case. So I prepared a resolution for that.
Okay.
And although we're lowering the assessment on that. Let me see what the numbers are. From 3,544,600 to 3 million. They have agreed to waive any refund from the town for town taxes and our ad valorem taxes for the fire district. So we won't be a refund for that. So I just need you to vote on and pass the resolution authorizing me to finalize that settlement.
Do you have the resolution?
Yeah, I have it. Do you want me to read it?
No,
Okay, thank goodness.
I make a motion. Okay, so we're both there.
Ms. Walsh,
Yay.
Councilman Ambrose, Councilman Bartles, Councilwoman Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
thank you. And I think that's, oh, I just wondered, whatever happened to the library petition? Will we ever get that?
Well, they're getting signatures and aren't
Okay.
they submitting that to the Board of Elections to get on?
No, we have,
No, it has to. go to
we have to
ballot.
do that.
Come to me.
I just
Did you
want,
get it or no?
There you go. Claire's here. She can speak.
Absolutely.
oh,
We are in the process of collecting signatures.
okay,
We should be voting on them on Tuesday at our board meeting. And then we will be able to present them to Madeline for the initial pass through. At that point, once Madeline's seen them, I think we can pass them to the Board of Elections.
What's the deadline? Out of curiosity, because there is.
We have to get it in, I think, early August. I think it's the
That's that
7th
long?
of August. That's the last day, so, we're trying to do this early enough that there's enough time for everybody to.
when the petition is filed, it has to be reviewed by our town clerk to make sure it has the right number of signatures and it's properly signed. We also need a resolution of the Board of Directors of the library in conjunction with the petition authorizing that. So when and then I will prepare the necessary paperwork so that you can put it on the ballot for this year.
Is there particular wording you need in that Board of
For the resolution,
Resolution?
no, it's in the statute.
Okay,
Um,
perhaps I can
Yeah.
circle back around.
yeah, if you have a
At some
question,
point.
you can call me, I'll refer
Okay,
you.
Is that it, one?
That's it.
New business, we have to accept 2 resignations. Finally, I guess it'd be the 9th Circuit Court.
Mhm.
Accepted Dave Humminson's resignation for Town Justice. And we also have a resignation for Robert Hart as Justice Court Clerk.
Make a motion. or accept the-
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Does this mean that we're gonna be putting out something to judge or not yet?
The next class is December, so it will go on the ballot. Anybody else have any new business? Old business?
Just a reminder that we're having our town hall meeting July 10th. For people, town hall meeting at the community center, people to ask questions, see what we got going on. We don't want to surprise people, so we want your input.
7 PM, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
what was that, Rick?
Huh? When?
Yeah.
July 10th.
Is it, we're going.
We're doing it at the community center.
I need a motion to go back into executive session.
So
with
moved.
the Attorney,
Are we making any decisions?
are we making any decisions?
What are we going in for? No. You won't be, no decision.
Then I move us back from executive session.
Just want to give you an.
I'll vote us to adjourn.
All in favor?